Well, good morning, everyone. Today is day 30 of Oudvember. Welcome YouTube, welcome our fragrance friends to the final day of Oudvember. It's been a long, fun, sometimes taxing month, but here we are at the end. And something special about today, instead of doing one scent, I'm going to do 3 scents today. I had more oud scents than there were days in the month. I ended up having I think I had like 37, 36, something like that. So I can't get all of them, but there were 3 that I wanted to get into to this last day. So today's going to be a threefer. And so the 3 scents are going to be M7 from Yves Saint Laurent, 24 Gold from ScentStory, and Aoud Greedy from Montale. Now they're gonna be separate videos. I'm gonna splice them together because I'm gonna have to wear them at different times, and I want to talk about them after I wear them so that I can give you good descriptions. So we're gonna start right now with M7. I wore M7 yesterday. Now this was sent to me by I don't know his real name, but he goes by Jesus Christ on Facebook. I believe he has a YouTube channel, which that may be the same name. I can't recall. But anyways, thank you, friend, for the sample. It was a very, very generous decan. I think it was probably 4 to 5 mil. I think he sent of M7 for us to use for Oudvember. So it did make it in. He was very excited that it would be in Oudvember. So here you go, buddy. Here it is, M7, courtesy of Jesus Christ. So M7, I have a little bit of a history with this fragrance. The first time I ever smelled it was there's a little fragrance booth. I'm sorry, it's very cold outside. My mouth is a little gummy. It's trying to warm up. Anyways, this fragrance booth at our mall here locally, I sprayed it on, thought it was amazing. Just thought, oh, holy crap, this is awesome. I got to get this. I didn't buy it. I just wore it around. And then a few months later, we had a sample from someone, and I wore it. And man, I thought it was just the harshest, most brutal fragrance. Being unfamiliar with oud at that time, I thought it was really tough to bear, and I just was like, no, this is not for me, no sir. So, when Oudvember rolled around and this guy offered to send us a decant, I was like, all right, well, here we go again. This is going to be a tough day. So I wore it, and the funny thing is, after having worn oud scents for an entire month, M7 seems like a sweet little pussycat. I mean, it seems like a very tame scent. It was shocking to me how different my perception was of this fragrance compared to months ago before I did Oudvember. So a testament to what Oudvember has done to my nose, I think, or how it's opened my eyes to oud. I would say this is not a very harsh oud at all. In fact, to me, after having worn oud scents for a month, when I smell M7, most of what I get is a combination of amber, maybe some vetiver, maybe some rosemary, and I believe there is some orange notes up top. I can't remember if it's orange bitters or something, but it's something citrusy, and there's some bergamot too. And those are really more of the star than the oud. There is oud in here, but personally, I think that the oud in this fragrance gets more attention than it should, mostly because you don't see oud in a lot of designer fragrances. You don't see oud in this price range very often. And M7, as far as I know, is one of the first. I mean, this fragrance is fairly old, so when it used oud, it probably wasn't very popular. So that was kind of unique to that fragrance. And then of course M7 is discontinued, so everything about it is going to be blown a little bit out of proportion just based upon that fact. So to me, there's oud, but it just brings the strength of the fragrance more than I actually smell oud, and that's just me. It could just be a different oud that I haven't been smelling this month, and so I don't pick up on it. But to me, this is amber heavy, not oud heavy. This scent to me has excellent longevity, but the projection was not so fantastic, actually. I thought it was above average, but not beast mode. And when you read the Fragrantica little chart on longevity and projection, all that sort of thing, it leads you to believe this thing was like Angel Men or something like that. And to me, it's really not. To me, it's it lasts a long time, but it's just a little above average on the projection. I find this scent to be very pleasant, very masculine. One thing about this fragrance that is noteworthy is the marketing that Yves Saint Laurent used when they put this fragrance out. You probably know it. It was a picture for like the magazine insert and all that sort of thing. It was a picture of a dude who was naked and you could see his wiener. You could see his you could see his business. So that was, you know, a little shock value, I guess. He was a and then another thing was the guy was, you know, a little bit hairy, like he had a hairy chest. He had hair everywhere on his body, like a guy normally should. And so that was, to me, that image is supposed to be evocative of what this scent is. And I think it works pretty well. It is masculine and hairy, and, you know, I won't say it's wienerish or anything like that, but it doesn't evoke, you know, whatever. Okay, so, but it is overtly masculine, I would say. Some people said this is like sex in the bottle. I would disagree with that. I don't think it's, I've smelled more masculine fragrances. I've smelled rougher things. To me, it's demure in a masculine way. It is sensual. It's inviting, and it's a bracing fragrance as far as, you know, masculinity goes. You know, strong and all that sort of thing. I think it's a really, really great fragrance. And after smelling it post Oudvember, I am far more interested in getting a bottle of it than I was before. So this was one of the more interesting Oudvember entries, just because of the way that my perception of it changed because of what I've been doing for the past month. So I really hope that this trend continues, and I will begin to, you know, continue to smell other oud things and things that scared me before or scared me off, you know, that were intimidating, and really try them and see them in a different light after, you know, kind of opening my eyes, you know. It's like Oudvember was the blue pill and the red pill. Like, how deep do I want to go? I went deep, bro. Alright guys, so the second fragrance for day 30 of Oudvember is Aoud Greedy from the house of Montale. First, my new shirt. Which scientist are you? I don't know if you guys can, I keep raising it up until you guys see whether my belly's showing or not. Anyways, it's a cool t-shirt. Alright, Aoud Greedy. I was very excited to try this one because, you know, Montale has this other fragrance called Chocolate Greedy, and it's this really kind of like Teddy Grahams, Cocoa Teddy Grahams, chocolatey, very, very chocolatey. It's a very chocolatey fragrance, so I thought, man, if that's Chocolate Greedy, then Aoud Greedy will be a very, very great oudy fragrance. If you guys have worn Aoud Greedy, you know that is a complete lie, because Aoud Greedy is a misnomer. There's no oud in this fragrance, guys. Literally. If you look at the notes, there is no oud in this fragrance at all. I don't know. It was weird because the decant came in a pack of samples from someone donated it. I'm sorry that I forgot who you were. It's been a long month. Anyway, someone donated this sample. Oh, you know what? I think it was Ben Lee. I think it was Ben Lee, our good friend Ben, from StogyReview.com. At any rate, when I popped open the sample and smelled it, I mean, it smelled really great out of the sample. I was like, oh, I mean, it smelled fresh and light and kind of fruity, and I was like, this will be a really interesting addition to Oudvember. So, excuse me. I was looking forward to wearing this one, and put it on. Didn't detect any oud at all, and I thought, well, you know, my nose isn't that great. I'm just missing it. So I went and looked it up. There is no oud. This fragrance is dominated by lemon, some musk, and then the keynote to me is licorice. There's a lot of licorice in here. In fact, this fragrance is very reminiscent of Lolita Lempica's All Masculine, which is a good cheapie that is dominated by licorice. So I would say that this is probably, I guess you could say, a niche version of Lolita Lempica, because it's not just licorice, it also has a lot of citrus up top, so it's bright and fresh and crisp. It's also got, and underneath it's got vetiver and patchouli, both of which I detect fairly obviously, especially the vetiver. So it's an interesting combination of like a lemony, licoricey vetiver, maybe some patchouli in there too. So I think the fragrance smells really good, and it lasts a long time. I got excellent longevity, probably just average projection. But none of that makes up for the fact that there's no oud in this, and I can't figure out why it's called Aoud Greedy. I just don't know. I mean, I know Montale, everything they do is oud for the most part, but you can't just slap the name on there. If it's not in the fragrance, it doesn't make any sense to me. So anyways, that is Aoud Greedy. I don't have much more to say about it. It's a great, interesting fragrance. I wouldn't say it's worth the price that Montale charges for their fragrance, which I think is around $150. I wouldn't pay that for this. I would just get Lolita Lempica. But it is an interesting take on that licorice scent, though. So I'm gonna leave leave this one at that and move on to the third fragrance, which is 24 Gold. So the third scent for day 30 of Oudvember, as promised, 24 Gold from the house of ScentStory. Now this is the third time I've shot this video because somehow I didn't press record the first two times. So, yay! I'll try not to shortchange you. 24 Gold. The house of ScentStory house made 4 fragrances based off, I guess they're based off, I don't know, that they used the sort of the name and licensing and the logo from the television show 24. I think the 4 fragrances are, like there's like a regular 24, I think there's a platinum, gold, and a go dark edition, I think is what they are. I'm not positive. I know there's 4, and I know that 24 Gold got the most hype. 24 Gold got a lot of hype about a year ago when it first came out. The reasons were mostly because it was a fragrance named after a TV show, which wasn't bad, which is very rare. Usually these things that market themselves after, you know, TV shows or cars or, you know, the Avengers or Incredible Hulk or whatever the F they're doing, it's usually just complete garbage. This was a good fragrance, and so it got a lot of attention. People are splitting it, talking about it, making videos, etc. At that time I bought a bottle. My wife hated it. I mean, she just hated it, pushed me away, told me to go take a shower to get it off of me. She hated it. So shortly thereafter I sold that bottle because I don't wear fragrances my wife doesn't like. It's just not my thing. Or at least I don't wear them often enough to own a bottle. So I sold that bottle. Still had a decant though, and that was what we used for Oudvember. I was curious to see how my wife's impression and my impression of this fragrance would change after a year, and especially after having smelling oud scents for 30 days. So I'll get to that in just a minute. Let's talk about the scent for a second. It's 24 Gold, dominated by amber vanilla to me. There is oud in there, especially at the beginning, but it doesn't last a whole long time, and it's kind of a synthetic, cheaper oud. So, you know, it's cool that it's in there, but I wouldn't say that it is the defining characteristic of this fragrance. The stuff underneath, you've got star anise, I think you've got some guaiac wood, some cedar. I think that's about it. There's a couple other notes, there's like a couple floral notes and things like that in there, but those things I just listed are the main players in this fragrance. When you first spray 24 Gold, for me, I get a really, really delicious blast. Amber, vanilla, oud, star anise, some different accords, things that give it like a fruity feel. I think some of that's actually a floral thing that's going on, but it gives it like a fruity, ambery feel. It's really, 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 really good. This fragrance has outstanding performance, guys. I mean, we're talking beast mode longevity, beast mode projection. I mean, it is filling the room and lasting a long time. So I would go easy on the trigger with this fragrance. I find this fragrance to be incredibly likable. When I first sprayed it on, I was just like, yes, this is great. This is really, really good. As it dries down, some of those fruity things in the oud kind of dies away, and you're left with excuse me, you're left with sort of a billowing, blanketing amber vanilla kind of scent, which to me is pretty common for anything that's got a lot of vanilla and amber. It's that same scent. You're gonna recognize it if you've worn a lot of fragrances like this. That doesn't take away from it, because to me those notes smell great together. But that's going to be what really stands out. Amber vanilla really stays on top of you for hours and hours and hours. It really fills your nose. It really smells great. Like I said, the performance on this thing is a monster. So for the price tag, you're really getting a lot of performance. I think this fragrance runs around 40 to 50 bucks, something like that. So you're going to get amazing performance, a fairly interesting scent, and a really ugly bottle for that price. This bottle is ugly, son. Click that description and look at it. It's just a gold bottle. I mean, it is gaudy and tacky, but the juice inside is very, very nice. My wife doesn't care for it, so I probably won't buy another bottle, just because I just don't roll like that. You know, I like her to like what I'm wearing for the most part. But I think that it smells really great. I think this is an incredible value, and I think this is one of the winners from Oudvember. Even though this isn't oud heavy to me, it still is a fantastic scent, and I think people think about oud when they think about 24 Gold. So it counts. It works. I think it's fair to put it in here. My wife thought this smelled a little feminine on me. She didn't quite care for it. And, you know, that amber vanilla combo is pretty unisex. So I think it works on a man or woman just fine, but to her it skews a little feminine, and I can understand that. So to me it works fine on a guy. Like, I felt perfectly comfortable wearing it. But to her, just not getting the job done. So I would completely endorse 24 Gold to you guys. I think you should really, really try it if you like amber or if you like vanilla scents. I think it's a huge winner, a great value for the price. cannot say enough good things about 24 Gold. Really, really great fragrance. And that's it. That is the end of the Oudvember scents, guys. We'll have the wrap-up video posted hopefully tomorrow or the next day. Today's a big day here in Alabama. Today is Saturday. It's the day of the Iron Bowl, which, if you don't follow college football, is the big game between Alabama and Auburn. Yeah, we have this game every year. It's always a huge rivalry, and so I'm super excited to watch it. So I can't promise you I will shoot the wrap-up video tonight and post it tomorrow, but I will get it done within a day or two. And I've got all your questions that you guys posted, and I'll add them in. And if you have any more questions, you can post them on this video. And if they are not already in the list, then I'll add them on. And then, of course, I have some things that I want to say, of my own in that video. So that's it. It's been a pleasure, guys. I'll have more of my thank yous in the wrap-up video. But that's it for today. Thank you guys for day 30 of Oudvember. See you for the wrap-up video.